Finally, the 1 kilo Bullion Giants silver kilo. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me again. Silver Rupa here, and I wanted to show you this really special kilo that I just received. This is a 1 kilo Samoa Bullion Giants coin from 2023. Extremely rare coin. I've been waiting probably about a year and a half for this to finally pop up for sale. This one came up on JM Bullion, so I had to pay a premium. As you know, JM Bullion's a little bit higher price than the other retailers. So, but I was able to obtain it, and I was okay with paying the little extra. So, let's look at price real quick, and we'll take some close-ups of this. Price. $2,500 is what I paid for this. I think around $2,550. That seems like a lot, but today silver is at $71 an ounce. So at spot, kilos run you $2,250. That's insane for a kilo. At spot is $2,250, which is just nuts. So something of this caliber of like collectability, you're probably looking about 10 to 15, even $20 over spot, and sometimes even higher than that to get a collectible type coin like this. So this one was minted at $249. So if you collect kilos, that's actually a high mintage for kilo coins. Usually 100 and under are considered the more rare kilos, but considering that this is more rare in design and how big this thing is, let me show you real quick. This is a standard kilo size, and look at the size difference. It's insane. This thing's not a Frisbee, but it is pretty close. It's pretty close to a Frisbee. It's like a small plate. So let's go ahead and take a quick look on this. So like I said, has a face value of 25, mintage of 249. This is a proof light coin, 180 millimeters from in diameter, and very hard to get. So let's go ahead and take a look at the design of this thing. Let me scoot this over, kind of out of the camera there, but check that out. You're going to say, whoa, I know what that is. That is a maple, an Australian kangaroo, Chinese panda, Britannia, an eagle, Libertad, and a Krugerrand. I know what those are. And you probably know what those are because those are all annual releases, and they are the most popular coins that are around the world. So this is kind of like a tribute type coin. So you have those. They're all the same design as you would get them if you bought the actual real coin. So they're all polished background, matted face on there. And you can see it says Bullion Giants around that. And this is matted background there. Polished here, you have some elevated stripes there. And going through the edge, you can see it's kind of like a foresty matted background. And it does have a lot of detail, and that has some pretty good relief on there. And you can see you have the maple, the kangaroo, and the Britannia. And you can see they have little historic things in the background. You know, like you have the pyramid behind the Libertad there. Pretty cool things here. And all the symbols are there in a polished characteristic. And really cool. Now let me show you the obverse on this. Now, when I first saw this coin, that's what I saw. I saw the obverse, and just the obverse is really awesome. Really good relief on this texture, kind of polished and matted mix. And you have Queen Elizabeth polished in the background. You have the Samoa logo there. $25 face value. And let's look at the edge. You can see how thin this thing is. I mean, it's still thick, but in comparison to a regular kilo, let me show you. This is a standard kilo size. Check out how thin that is. So that's why you're going to have a lot more surface area on this, because it's almost like a small plate there. So really Really cool coin. This is going to cost you. It's going to cost you quite a bit because you don't see these come for sale almost never. So right now it's hard to put a price because, you know, like I said, $71 today is record high. So I'm going to say if you find this for 25 to 26 now with silver at over 70, that's a good price. So I'm going to say 28 to 32 is probably the going price for this. So, but it is worth it if you collect kilos. These are exceptional coins. And they're very rare. You're not going to find these too often. Like I said, I've been waiting such a long time. And these come in a pretty cool display case. It's like a rose. It's like, well, what is that? Like mahogany. It has a velvet inside. It's packed very well. Comes with the certificate of authenticity. Usually have a plastic on this, which I still have. But I don't think I'm ever getting rid of this. I don't think I'm getting rid of any of my silver, no matter how high silver goes. So, but I could say this is, you know, if you have a collection of silver, you may have a ton of different kilos, but you'll notice between the mass-produced ones and the collectible ones with low mintages, there's really not much of a price difference, maybe $100-$200. But in my opinion, you know, people are getting more picky now with silver going higher and higher, especially with kilos. So they're going to want the really cool collectible kilos rather than the mass-produced like the Britannias or, yeah, you know, the mass-produced ones. So anything over under 300 is considered more collectible, low mintage, rare type pieces. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. And this is probably, again, probably in my top 5 kilos. I would say top 3 actually. I'm actually looking at the bigger kilos now. I know there was the African safari one. I'm not sure exactly what, but that one looks pretty cool too. That may be my next purchase. I'm gonna have to do it soon because these prices are going insane. Just imagine when silver goes up to 100. That's, you know, that's going to put spot price for kilos at $3,200. So, but you know, if you're stacking silver, everything you've bought up thus far, you're actually doing very well on. So I'm glad if you're a stacker out there that you are able to get your silver early. So anyway, I think we're going to leave it at that. Please subscribe. I do appreciate the support, and we'll see you next video.